Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Quack & Co., the channel where everything is 10 minutes or less all the time, every time, and this is my best, worst, and verdict review of Chronicles of Crime 2400. Chronicles of Crime 2400 is a continuation of the Chronicles of Crime series from Lucky Duck Games, incorporating the main elements you may or may not be familiar with, and we'll go over them at a high level in a second, while incorporating some new aspects as well, such as the cyber implants and cyberspace as well, that you'll have different small elements that are slight tweaks on the general formula. The general idea is these are detective games. These are games in which you are playing as a detective trying to uncover a mystery. Along with your phone, this is an app integrated game, along with your phone you're going to be scanning QR codes, looking at locations, trying to figure out exactly what happened in the space you're in, picking up clues, answering questions. What did you see? Did you see bags, purses, games, toys, flammable objects? Going through this set of cards as you try to figure out what it was you saw in the scene. You're a detective, you're running short on time, and you have to figure things out. Along the way, you'll be traveling to a variety of locations and putting characters into various locations. Well, that's probably more of a cyberspace character over there, but you'll be putting characters into various locations and interacting with those characters at those locations. You'll go to a location, you'll ask a few questions, you'll ask about the game you saw, because I always ask about the games I saw. You'll ask about the character you interact with there, and then you'll be traveling around from location to location. You're going to be traveling in general locations on the grid, as well as moving to cyberspace, where you hack in, you plug in, and you start incorporating with the avatars of other characters, all while trying to solve a case. At the same time, all you're doing every single time is you're scanning QR codes, you're asking questions, what happened over there, what about that person, what about that guy I met in cyberspace, and then you have a roster of assistants on hand, experts you can ask them questions on the things that are going on. You'll have your cyberspace expert, you'll have your physical detective, physical evidence expert, and you're asking them questions on the various elements you're incorporating with. Along the way, you'll also be gathering various cyber implants that will help you power up and level up across the course of the game, but ultimately this comes down to the detective work. You'll go to a location, you'll find a character, you'll ask them some questions. You'll go to another location, you'll ask them some questions. You'll return to the original location, that character's gone, someone new is there. This game evolves and changes based on the interactions you have with it. The things you ask about will trigger consequences. The people you ask about will trigger consequences. The places you go will change the original game state of where you were up to as you go through the cases involved in this game. So that's generally what's going on. Again, mostly similar to the general Chronicles of Crime series, just with their own futuristic spin and twist on the genre. As far as the best part of a Chronicles of Crime, the best part is feeling like a detective. As you ask questions, as you see certain patterns, as you realize that that person was acting a little suspicious over there, and I therefore need to ask this person about them, and I need to go over there and ask my expert on the side about that element I saw in cyberspace, as you find the patterns and start to understand the general sphere of what's happening during the mysteries you're going through, you'll start to feel more and more like a detective. You'll find patterns, you'll notice things, you'll ask the right questions, you'll dive deep into cyberspace, you'll level up your character, you feel like a detective as you play this game, and the worst part is you feel like a detective. Not all the time is feeling like a detective a good thing. In movies, sure, TV shows, sure, it's all fun and games because the goal is to keep us entertained. But in real life, feeling like a detective means running up against dead ends as often as you find something that's actually worth discovering. And that element is incorporated, whether intentionally or not, is incorporated into the Chronicles of Crime series. Sometimes you run into a dead end, you ask 14 questions, you keep asking the right character, you keep scanning QR code, QR code, QR code, the clock keeps ticking in the app as you're using up your precious time, as you feel like a bit of an idiot trying to ask questions without knowing where this goes, without knowing what the resolution is. The best part is feeling like a detective, and the worst part sometimes, and unfortunately, is also feeling like a detective. Which brings me to my verdict of Chronicles of Crime. Chronicles of Crime as a series I've generally liked at times, but inconsistently liked it, and that has been a death blow for me, as I don't like having inconsistently good plays. The first times I've dove into Chronicles of Crime, or various cases here and there, I've had immensely enjoyable experiences where I dive down, I figure out the mystery, I feel like I'm doing fun things, whether playing it solo or cooperatively. I have a great time trying to establish what happened and trying to find the pattern and feel like a detective. And then the worst times, I'm plugged up against the wall, I'm scanning QR codes, I'm not making any progress, I'm revisiting the limitations, I have the little mental stress of the time ticking away, even though it doesn't really matter. The game's equally enjoyable, I'll just rate poorer in the app. But it feels frustrating. It feels like I can't make headway. At a certain point, it doesn't feel like I'm making deductive guesses. It feels like I'm just guessing, and that takes all the fun out of the experience, at least for me. Chronicles of Crime 2400, the implementation of cyberspace, and the addition of leveling up your character are nice additions to the genre, additions that are worth paying attention to. At the same time, the net verdict for me on Chronicles of Crime is it's a system that has given me inconsistently good and bad plays, and for me, that makes it a pass for my collection. Until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Quack & Co., where less time watching means more time playing.